first of all, thank you everyone for joining our insightful webinar with Industrility and spending the next 30 minutes with us. Um, Depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're joining from. Typically, on these webinars, we get people from the US, UK, Germany, mainland Europe, and sometimes even from India and Middle East. So thank you very much for joining. In the next 30 minutes, we will talk about how equipment manufacturers, machinery manufacturers, industrial machinery manufacturers are reimagining after sales and how Industrility is helping them really win in the aftermarket and after sales with AI-powered service lifecycle management. The webinar will be recorded and a copy of the recording will be shared with everyone. So feel free to share this recording after the webinar with your colleagues if you find it interesting. Presenting today would be myself, Achint Varia. I am the Chief Revenue Officer at Industrility. I have been working in the industrial and manufacturing space for all my life, really, for the last 15, 17 years. And I've worked in the SAP ecosystem as well as manufacturing ecosystem. And my focus today would be to leverage all of that learnings and helping you understand how to make that bridge. And along with me, I have the technology expert and our CEO, Jinesh. Jinesh, do you want to say hello?
Hello, super excited today. Thank you very much, Achint. Looking forward for the entire webinar. This is our Think Outside the Machine webinar series. So definitely check out our previous webinars as well. We have packed this webinar with lots of demos, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Fantastic. Thank you. And that's spot on. We love to, seeing is believing. And so we love to run our webinars with live demos and stuff, showing presentations and video recordings. But before we begin, let me tell you a story. So in general, Industrility has a culture of fitness. A lot of us love to climb mountains. I have done a few mountain expeditions myself. And a lot of the times I've had good experiences and bad experiences. Imagine you're climbing a mountain, and climbing a mountain is almost, it is a team sport. You need a whole support crew around you. And imagine, climbing the mountain looks possible, but just imagine if your support crew had old tools, the oxygen tank was not filled up, the map was not correct, or the weather prediction was not correct. All of those things could mean failure to reach the peak. And in reality, this is how the industrial after sales is also running. Because if you think of your customers making them successful, they currently have to go through a whole host of different systems, a whole host of different teams. If a customer has an issue today with their machine that you have supplied, they'll either reach to a distributor or they'll contact the contact center. They'll eventually go to a support center. If they are not able to resolve it, they'll go and try to find that information in ERP systems. They'll go to engineering team, and then they'll check for that information back with the sales team. They'll cross check it with the PLM system. It has to go through a whole host of back and forth. And if your support system across the organization is not geared towards supporting your customers, then the customers is on fire and they are not happy. Today, in most companies, the way it works is you have an online form which they have to fill up if they have an issue. Then it goes into a ticketing system. Then they have a various checklists that they need to fill up. Then it potentially goes into an ERP system like SAP, where they have to do all the bill of material checking and management. Then it goes to PLM for identifying part. And by that time you give the quote, the customer has already reached out to your competitors and they've already won the business. And so a lot if you notice, I don't have a persona here called after sales as a persona. I don't have a system here as after sales system. The reason being, at a lot of manufacturing companies, after sales is an afterthought. There are so many different systems, but none of them is geared or fit for purpose for after sales. And that's where Industrility has built a solution that is fit for purpose for after sales. And the way we do it is all of these different systems, they are one meant for internal processes, and two, they are not asset centric. And when you are servicing your customer for your industrial machines, you want something that is customer facing, something that is asset centric, and something that can serve the customers with all the data that comes with it. And that's where we create a customer facing white labeled application which not only the customer can get access to and help them throughout the next 30 years of the machine, but the same platform can be used by all of these internal teams also. I'll give you an example. A lot of these machines these days are connected. And when I say connected, they are connected with sensors, they are connected with IoT. And what we've noticed is IoT on its own does not pay for itself. It's very expensive, and unless you are able to monetize IoT, it remains a failed experiment. And that's where we all, in addition to all of these different systems and data silos, we also bring IoT as one of the data silo into our platform, and then connect it to after sales, connect it to parts, and then help manufacturers monetize. And so in conclusion, what I would like to go into is, if you are a leader in aftermarket, trying to grow your aftermarket business by 50%, trying to reduce downtime for your customers and build loyalty, you know our the whole of the demos today will be focused on those outcomes: monetizing IoT, managing your install base, and servicing your customers, and removing all the friction there is when it comes to servicing your customers. So with that setup, I would like to dive right into the demos, and I would like to invite Jinesh to give us an example in the context of an industrial chiller. So Jinesh, why don't you take it away and show some amazing demos of how we can help manufacturers win in the aftermarket.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Achint, for giving us the quick overview. So let me switch gears and sort of take that to that next level with a real company example. So let's take, as Achint mentioned, we work as Industrility, we work with machine manufacturers to reinvent their complete after sale life cycle, service life cycle management. And everything that we do focuses around the manufacturer. Manufacturers today are in tremendous pressure to increase their EBITDA, their revenue, their customer service, as well as loyalty across the different diverse customer base. So let's take an example of a real manufacturer like a chiller manufacturer, and they make chillers, commercial or industrial chillers. These are installed at factories or schools or different facilities in the building systems. These machines have a lifetime of 30 to 50 years. They don't break often. They are extremely reliable, and they power our everyday life, believe it or not. So machine manufacturers like a chiller manufacturer typically have a conundrum or a problem around how do we monetize our current installed base, or to some extent they will not even know where their actual customers are, or who they have sold that particular chiller to. Every they sell 10,000 plus chillers a year, let's say, they to a mechanical contractor or to to the end owner operator who is a school or a casino floor or any of those customers. They sometimes don't know where these machines are located, who are using it, who are the right people, and we term this solution, term these as industry as purely of installed base. Do you know your installed base? Do you know your customers well? So understanding the customer is and those segmentation is extremely important. So let's take this example and walk through all the different scenarios around what they actually need. So in this scenario, we are looking at no, our platform, Industrility, offers a enterprise SaaS solution, all fully configured, ready for any manufacturer to fully customize and available for their customers as well. When Industrility offers a variety of different applications, we call them modules. We want whenever a VP of after sales or VP of service lifecycle management, comes to Industrility, we want them to think. We want to think. We want them to think about is as if it's they are in a kid in a candy store. They see all sorts of different important aspects about their business, whether there is assets or think they see on a map, they can see parts, maintenance, service, modules, all different elements that are associated with their after increasing their aftermarket parts business. And we would we offer this solution to manufacturers so that the manufacturers can offer to their stakeholders such as your partners, your mechanical contractors, in-house maintenance technician, or your end owner operator. So we provide this customized, website or a customer portal available to them, and each of them, usually has different needs, and so they can customize their needs based on what applications they need and what they need. So let's see what the manufacturer will be able to go and log in and see. So I'm logged in right now. They can customize their look and feel. Right now, I'm codenamed as MyOEM. They can see all their assets in one single place, and they can all their systems in one single place. So we have five examples here for different types of customers that the manufacturer have sold this asset to, their assets to. And so this is, for example, I'm logged in as a manufacturer, seeing their entire installed base, where they are, what they do, what type of assets that they have, what is the model of that asset, and they see a complete 3D representation of the customer, the building. So here you can see it's a casino floor. They have three refrigerators chillers available. You can see all aspects about it, where they are located, what they do. They can also see, and click on a particular asset and say dive deeper into each of these assets as well. So in this scenario, because you are logged in as a manufacturer, you are seeing everything that you have sold. As Industriality, we believe that our journey starts as soon as you sell a particular asset. So you're able to, every asset becomes your lead and an opportunity to serve your customer. And we want you to offer a solution to your customers by saying, I am going to be there throughout the lifetime of this equipment, and serve. It's not just buying an equipment from us, it's also that we will be serving you for the next 30 and the next 50 years. So your manufacturer can see, and internal employees can also see all the assets, all the information associated with that asset, as Achint was talking about. You'll be able to see, their sensor values, their document, their spare parts and lists, their maintenance schedules, their warranty information, their training, their support tickets, all the details that is associated with one asset, which is the serial number of that asset. They will be able to see that asset and in all information in one single place. But if I have to just log in, for example, to and let's say Achint here is my customer of this big casino, and he wants to log in and he wants to see this information. When Achint logs in, he will only see the assets that are relevant to him, and your mechanical contractor that he has seen, he's are that he will be that he is involved with, can also see certain only the assets that he is or she is involved in. So every customer gets personalized outlook as well as personalized view for their particular assets and details so that they can augment the digital twin. We call these as operational digital twins. You can continuously add more value and more data as you go around that journey of that operational digital twin, a journey of the asset itself, and it's being used. So here you can see he can only see these assets when he logs in. He'll be able to only get the information that the OEM has hyper personalized for that particular user. So it's important that you see all the information in one single place, not just for your customers and your asset, but your actual entire install base in one single view, the aggregated data across your entire install. So if they log in and they can see every manufacturer now, I'm coming back to my manufacturer view, and we have a really cool aggregated data report across your entire fleet of machines that you have sold over your period of 70, 80, 100 years. So if we go to Outcomes app, which is basically focusing on business outcomes, and they can see customized reports associated with your current data. So they can see who is the owner, who is the model, how many assets I've sold in this particular year, who are my distributors, what are the model families that I have actually sold in the last 5 years, who are my net new customers, new in this industry, who are my what is the age of an asset today, and they can filter out every single details and see the entire aggregated data view of their assets. They'll be able to drill down and see all their information associated with where they are, what they are, which location they are into. They'll be able to see what type of boiler they have, what type of assets that they have sold over this period of time. Every machine manufacturer today has probably multiple different brands. In this case, Chiller has multiple brands that they have sold. They have acquired multiple brands, so they want to see which asset is available or which brand they have sold. Also, they want to see multiple stages in which this asset might be. Some assets might be in an installation and commissioning stage. Some will be in an operational stage, while some will be in decommissioned or a modernization phase. So they want to see their entire installed base view in one single place. And whatever you see here is fully customizable. So we have aggregated data across how much how are assets getting shipped, how are assets getting managed, and so forth. So in this scenario, you will be able to manage as well as see your entire install base in one single place. So you as the VP of aftermarket can have exactly how to target and where to go so that you have become more proactive versus reactive in selling your parts and service throughout the lifetime of this equipment and serve your customers much better. So this was the first demo of what we feel how the industrial machine manufacturer will be able to provide hyper personalized, asset centric, install based customer portal for your needs, and they will be able to provide a digital twin to your customers, as well as your intermediary partners, such as your mechanical contractors and so forth, so that you have the opportunity to serve your customers proactively rather than having to come back to you and call you or fill up a form on your website. Now you have the opportunity to go out and build out.
Jinesh,
Now,
that was fantastic. I think
mm,
so. I'll just touch upon. I think that was fantastic. So not only the customers can get access to all the information, even the support crew and the service crew are looking at the same data, and so that in itself is so powerful because now everyone is looking at the same information when serving the customer, and not only that, then you are able to aggregate it and then use that as a hunting tool for aftermarket. I think that itself is such a huge opportunity. So that's amazing. I would just like to let everyone know, if you have any questions throughout this whole process, please put them into the Q&A section. We will try to answer them through the presentation, but definitely towards the end of it, we will come back to those questions. So um, uh, why don't you carry on, Jinesh? I think this was fantastic.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Achint. And so one of the second demos that we have, that we have noticed is around Internet of Things. Most of the manufacturers that we work today have started this journey of connecting their assets to gateways which will start sending data, so you don't have to manually enter data for your different sensors that are out there on the particular chiller, for example, in this case, like temperature, humidity, or entering temperature or leaving temperature, and so forth. Unfortunately, Internet of Things is not able to pick up in the last 5-10 years, essentially because of its failing on its own weight. There is a lot of um, hardware capabilities, a lot of connectivity issues, managing different partners associated with each of these different for building a complete solution today, and it is lacking one of the key elements, which is ROI. They are not able to, machine manufacturers are not able to monetize IoT and provide the return on investment put on the hardware and connectivity as well as the building the entire solution today. And the reason is really around, around a lack of visibility across and not being able to make enough money or increase their revenue. The bigger So what Industrility does differently is really drive the aftermarket parts revenue through IoT. And so we really recommend our customers to take advantage of IoT, but provide a business outcome to your internal teams by selling parts and increasing your service. And then by selling these high margin parts and high margin service elements, it will fund your IoT projects overall. So what we do is we take, instead of taking IoT and making it noise, we make this actionable and provide recommendation to sell which part and how whenever a particular event happens. So let's take an example of this. These are very simple and easy to understand examples. One, let's assume that in this scenario you are the manufacturer, like a chiller, and you don't know where your end owner operator actually operates your current machine that you have sold. You have probably sold this to a mechanical contractor, or it's sitting in a warehouse, or you don't know who the end owner operator is. So what we recommend is to leverage what we call our owner intelligence. So we install a very simple Apple Bluetooth like air tags, but it's just not Bluetooth. It's a cellular a simple device which essentially is clubbed with one of the unit. It's a basically a stick-on that you can provide as the machine ships and goes out of the factory floor. and it's battery operated GPS tracker that has around 7 to 10 years of battery life. It sends one pulse of where I am and what is my location after all the legal approval and opt-ins by the no by looking at the right level of information. We offer this solution to the owner, to the manufacturer, so that they can attach this GPS tracker to your instance, to your machine that you have sold. This instance will continuously send, through the gateway location information, and they are connected and to Industrility, sending lat long information. We intelligently, identify the different points of interest through, various, Google and Amazon location and other different mapping services, and give you the most probable owner associated with that particular machine. So we correlate, we provide our artificial intelligence automatically gives you the confidence ratio of which machine, based on what your industry is, such as chiller and others, who is your most probable owner. As a result, you will be able to now register your asset and know who your information is system is. No, really providing actionable insights through your IoT information. Let's take another example here. It's not just getting IoT data, but we take, this, we convert your downtime to real time, data, to provide you real value for selling parts and service. So here you will be sending out with an IoT gateway connected to your Modbus interface, sending real-time telemetry information. We correlate all this information and offer you a recommendation of which parts your customers should buy, or offer your increase your after sale revenue. So like in an example here is a commercial chiller. If it has a pump or a filter or a pressure valve, we will look at your, before and after, or temperature or a pressure elements, to create that differential. And because now the filter is actually clogged, and through the differential pressure, we will recommend them the exact filter that is there on their BOM, so that the customer can see an actual part number that they can buy. So we call it one-click ordering, or one alert ordering. So let's see this in action. So here you can see that there are, this is a particular chiller. They are sending multiple different sensor values associated. Each of these different sensors are, extremely important KPIs that are being sent every 15 minutes to Industrility. They can see different sensor values. But most importantly, let's go into one of the sensors elements, which are uh, which provide, let's say, the compressor. If within that chiller, the temperature is rising, so we have Industrility can configure all these sensor groups as well as sensors, and then associate that sensor group to an alert. And if that alert happens, we will check for different temperature sensors. And as you can see, the compressor discharge temperature has been set with an alert that if it goes lower than the threshold, provide me certain recommendation. So you can see that, over here, below 100, if it goes, we need to recommend them to change that, sensor tubing, or the temperature sensor itself, or the elements that might be related to that particular problem area. So here we recommend through our AI engine, you know, if a correlation of your sensors can actually recommend an action of selling a particular part, so that they can go in and see the information as well. Now that you know the sensor values, that is causing this problem, and which part you need to buy, you can now go into that same view. You can see that parts elements. These are, we have correlated all your entire BOM in one single place, which are spare parts, and the entire BOM associated with that particular equipment or the serial number, and we take a complete 3D BOM 3D schematic that you have used as a manufacturer during your design time. But we take this, we make this completely web, as everything that you're seeing is available on mobile phones, tablets, and websites, and you can see that entire asset in live 3D. You can explode that entire view for see every single part, and you can go in and see that particular sensor value or sensor tubing that needs to be changed. So I can click on a particular um, part, and I know which exactly my part needs to be changed. I can go in and say, hey, this tubing needs to change because my sensor values were higher. And you can click and have an Amazon like friction-free experience for your customers to buy or add to an RFQ so that you can increase your parts revenue in few clicks. This provides an enormous advantage to your customers. They don't have to fiddle around with multiple different outdated PDF spare part lists, and they only focus on, for their asset, get hyper personalized view and go and see which asset needs to be changed, and provides that really an amazing experience so that they can stay connected with you throughout the lifetime of this equipment as the machine changes as well. So this is the power of taking IoT, providing actionable insights, monetizing your IoT, and providing parts recommendations as well as service recommendations. So ultimately, not just increase the uptime and the value, but also increasing your aftermarket parts revenue.
Yes, this is amazing. I think in consumer world, I think we are used to it, right? I know I've got a Samsung fridge where it automatically tells me what filter I need and then I can order it. But that's standardized machinery, very easy to do. I have it on my car where my TPMS, the tire pressure monitor, I think it gave me I had to buy a specific tire because these days the cars have very specific tires, but again that's for a generic model. It's quite easy to do, but what you're saying is manufacturers for customized machinery, for made to order machinery, they can achieve the same level of hyper personalization and proactiveness. And I think that's where the consumer behavior is changing, and we are enabling that kind of proactiveness to parts, and I think that is very very powerful. So thank
Yeah,
you. And I
yeah.
love the first one. I think you said you could apply GPS trackers on your assets. Does that also work in the sort of distributor led business? Because that's where we hear it all the time. I do my business through distributors. I don't know where the asset lands. So how can you just maybe give a couple of sentences there?
Yes, yes, absolutely, Achin. So this is where the rubber meets the road. Manufacturers rely on distributors to make most of their capital equipment sale. And our philosophy is to really empowering the distributor and giving them all the necessary information that they need, from parts to manuals to to where the machines are, and offering whether you are a distributor led or whether you are direct to customer. We feel that empowering the distributor and using these IoT sensors to provide more value, and to your distributor to say, hey, you can sell this part at this particular time. This part has expired. Go and have a service sale. So we would like to increase their revenue also, as well as by offering the right time what part they need to manage, as well as what service they need to manage. So in this case, as Achint you mentioned, in addition to doing just the parts, we also have timers which for your specific assets, sorry, specific parts, and it will, just like the check engine light on you see on your car, we alert saying, hey, this is an expired part. It needs replacement before downtime. You better replace this part, and the distributor gets the notification, and he can now go in and contact the customer saying, I will come and do this particular service so that you cannot have any downtime. So this is a very important element overall to empowering the current distributors as well. So now let's move to the next generation of how AI can turn into ROI for you. We believe by building it asset centric, by building it installed base, by understanding your current installed base, how can you leverage powerful tools such as generative AI to your advantage and offer this to your customers so that they don't have hundreds of pages of documentation to look into. Instead, the information is available at them at their disposal based on this elements. So we have, because you have all sorts of different data associated with about their particular chiller. Now we have the ability to correlate all of these and offer this same pieces of information but in a complete natural language setup. So you have ability to go in and see your assets and ask them natural language questions about, hey, what was the alarm for that alarm 101 or 201 mean? What was that fault that came up? And it's buried inside hundreds of pages of documentation. And so you can say where I would say, like, so we have ingested most of this information in there, and you would be able to go in and say, what is the alarm code ALM 201 mean? So in this scenario, you can ask natural language, and in the questions, it will look into the grounded research about their operational manual. It synthesized all that information and gave all the information about that particular asset, about that parts bomb, about that sensor values that you have, and it gives you a very actionable support request through getting that, hey, there was a sensor fault. This A201 means this. These are the possible causes. And also, how do I fix it? Will also synthesize all this information in natural language, whether you are talking in Spanish or chatting. You have your own CoPilot associated with you to work for your machine and offer a really cool AI powered interface to your customers. But in addition to this, we also feel it's very important to track all your support requests in one single place. So just like we mentioned, different types of support like different type of applications, you can attach a different an app called support, and it correlates all your different tickets in one single place. It helps you define that, hey, I need to do a fluid report, an oil check, or an oil sample that needs to be taken every periodic element, and it's due. I want to create a support ticket because the temperature is not in the threshold or an operating envelope, or I want to have a spare part claim or a warranty claim associated with it. You can create variety of different support tickets or templates, and your customers will be able to simply, say, I want to click a particular, you know, element about your ticket and walk through and create or give you all the necessary information and fill that up, whether it is a warranty claim or so forth. So I'll show you a completed one. Let's say it's a support ticket. They will fill that up, and you will be able to see an asset centric approach to and see all the issues that have happened with that chiller. Machine was malfunctioning. I need some immediate action. And your service technicians will also be able to see all the issues that have happened with that particular chiller in one single place. And so you have the power to assimilate and provide better customer service to your customers. So we feel not only by offering an AI powered co-pilot to your customers for your static data and your dynamic and your real-time data is important, but that at the same time we want them to connect with you throughout the lifetime of this equipment through these portals, these customer portals, and see all the information in one single place, reduce their, you know, their time to resolution, and provide value added information so that their in-house technicians can fix the problem if they can, or they can come connect with you on a support call to measure all the information in one single place. Sachin?
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Jinesh. I think one thing that we keep hearing is the whole problem of aging workforce, and I think these kind of AI copilot can be so powerful because all of that tacit knowledge, document knowledge. I've heard people saying it takes 3 years to get people productive in the engineering space, and now having an AI by your side, I hope we can reduce that to 6 months, and so I think that is very very helpful. We have a number of customers in the HVAC space, construction machinery space, compressors, packaging machinery, and it is great to see some of our customers speak highly of us. One which is here, where they are saying that we are a partner to their service lifecycle management journey, and so I think that is great to hear. What sets us apart is our AI first strategy, but also the faster time to market. A lot of these manufacturers, I think they've built something like this over 3 to 5 years, and what Industrility is focused on is helping get to this end goal much faster in 3 months or less. And as you go on that journey, we help not only solve your data challenges, but also making sure that all of these things are kept up to date and you are AI ready. So I think that is super important that you are future ready. With that, I would like to conclude today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining. If there are any questions, we would love to take some of your questions and get them answered. For if any of these things are unanswered, or if you want to reach out directly to us, feel free to do so. Happy to get them addressed. But Jinesh, we had one question that I would like to give it to you. I have tried to answer to the best of my abilities, but I think it's better if you give a proper answer. Is how do we create this digital twin? I think that's important. And do manufacturers need their own IoT, or do we provide that as a PaaS, platform as a service? So, can given your extensive experience and background in IoT and digital twin, can you please talk a bit more of how customers can achieve this?
That's a great question, and I think it's from Oliver. Thank you very much, Oliver, for asking this question. Um, the in my experience working at Amazon Web Services, when we launched AWS IoT Core, one of the recurring problems that we had was how do we actually create the digital twin in the first place? So digital twin is different things for different people. For us, but for us, digital twin is the operational digital twin of that asset, which means that once the asset is sold, what are the different aspects about that machine, um, and correlating all the information such as warranty, parts, service history, all different 3D, 2D diagrams, all different things in one single place. So this is where our secret sauce of our company lies, is that we have built our engine that will correlate all the different data silos across the different and across your enterprise side, such as your PLM, your CRM, as well as your aftermarket services that or solutions or software that you might have. We correlate all that information and pivot it based on the serial number of that asset. And we start building that asset out, and in just a matter of 2 weeks, we have seen our customers go live with their actual install base information. So we have created separate templates that go for for those types of assets, and it makes it very easy for them to upload as well as transform the data. And through our AI engine, we get data that will directly drive, the serial number specific information, which is where the real information is, that the customer does not care about generic parts, does not care about, generic information. We want hyper personalized information for that particular serial number that they have purchased. So in addition to that, as you mentioned, you asked the second question of, do machine manufacturers need their own IoT database? So the answer is, no, is twofold. If you do not have IoT data, that's completely okay. We will come with a complete solution. We call it, we come with a partner with hardware and connectivity so that you can connect directly, and we provide a turnkey solution. But if you have a hardware, a gateway that is connected, or already sending data, then we will integrate with that and provide that level of visibility to integrating that IoT to Industrility platform. What we don't recommend you to do is to have different data silos like IoT data silo and parts data silo and service history and so forth. So we offer this as a platform, and also as a platform as a service. So you can offer all this information in a single unified, single pane of glass view for the operational digital twin of your particular asset.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jinesh. I've got one more. I'll try to address that question. So again, it's from Olivier. How many end customers, not machine manufacturers, are using your platform, and what kind of end customers are we talking about, and from which industry sectors? So for Industrility, our customers are equipment manufacturers, and the reason being, we provide a white labeled platform. So, like Tesla has My Tesla, Caterpillar has My Cat, Tetra Pak has My Tetra Top. Like companies have My OEM. We provide a software to manufacturers where you can white label this and then go to market from an aftermarket perspective. So our customers are manufacturers, and then they would in turn enable it to their customers. And so now, if you think of the customer segments that we cater to, which is made to order machinery, critical machinery, think of industrial boilers, industrial chillers, industrial compressors, packaging machinery. Almost every manufacturing plant on the planet would have a compressor, would have a boiler, would have a chiller. And so the end owner operator community is very, very wide, very vast. Although we keep a track of it, I don't know it at the top of my head, the number of end users and the client, but any manufacturing floor that you can think of, from a FMCG company to a labeling company to a food or a pharmaceutical company, all of those who have these systems, they would be using from an end user perspective. But our customers are machinery manufacturers, and they would then enable their end owner operators, but also their dealers and distributors with our platform. So we
Yes.
have more than 100,000 sort of assets in our platform, and then many number of users onto our platform. So hopefully that helps answer that question, Olivier. Thank you for that. And then we'll take one last question, which is, how do we integrate Industry with lots of systems? So Jinesh, I'll let you take that. How do we
Yeah.
integrate Industry with ERP, CRM, PLM, a whole host of systems?
Yes, and that's one of the most important questions. How do we get started, and what's next, and what do we do? So, what we recommend our customers to do is, start with one or two customers or one or two partners. Pick 5 or 7 assets, 6 or 10 or different models across the board. Provide us that level of information that you need, that are coming from different data silos right now in a static downloadable format. We will provide you a quick, customized version of this platform as a pilot to get this going, and you can use that as an internal mechanism to get internal alignment. But then once this is proven and internally that you can see the value from the customer as well as see the value that you provide to your end to your partners, etc. Then we come in with our all the gear like a SWAT team with our engine. We connect and integrate with three different. We have connections with 250 different integration points with some old CRM and large CRMs like Salesforce and ERP systems like SAP and um, and IFS and others, which we natively integrate, and we get data. You specify which fields you need to show to your customers, and we will have our generative AI engine will transform certain data and build the necessary install base view that you need from different data sources. We have seen, you know, we know industrial data is bad. We know industrial data needs a lot of cleaning. So our engine, some of the customers that we have worked with have handwritten notes and Excel sheets that are just, not being kept up to date. We are very proud about the fact that we now can take those data streams as well, unstructured data, and create the structured data in a matter of the 3 to 4 weeks, and you can get started extremely well. So try us out, test it out, and tell us what you think about it with a quick overview. And we love to work with partners here to ensure that the right level of quality and the data quality comes in as well. So within few weeks, you will be able to go up and running, get your customized portal out, and measure success in a very different, very tangible way. So we are super excited about this. As you know, AI and IoT is one of the core elements to drive different revenue streams. And after sales AI is going to get you the right level of visibility that you need within, generating revenue within your company as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So thank you very much for joining today's webinar, for spending the last 45 minutes to 50 minutes with us. Clearly, aftermarket is important to you. It's not an afterthought. Otherwise, you would not have spent the amount of time with us. But let's take action and make sure aftermarket and after sales is a priority so that you can drive better customer experience, better customer loyalty, and higher profitability. Thank you so much for joining and wish you a great rest of the day. And if any other questions come up, please send us an email. We would be more than happy to engage. Have a great evening. Bye bye.